Hey everyone, it's Larry here at LC Model Shipbuilding, onward with the Titanic build. So we finish up the interior on Deck A in this video, so that includes a couple minor, not additions, but things that I needed to finish from the last video in the reading and writing room. We get the forward cabins put in, and we get the two rear aft cabins at the aft grand staircase put in. So we go through the furniture, put some bathtubs in, a little bit more flooring, all that kind of stuff. So excited to be through this one because now we're moving on to a new part of the build, really, after this. So thank you very much for tuning in, and let's get started. Okay, in the last video I couldn't find the arches, but here they are. So I got to get them painted up. They go right here in the reading and writing room, so I'll get them put on in this video. And there's the heaters, and these are the pieces of the wall that kind of go on the outside there. So that's all they are. Obviously outside, outside, inside, and then outside, 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 so they just kind of get glued together and put in. But couldn't find them in the last video, so I kind of left them out, but we'll get them put in this episode. So what we're going to be working on now for the main part of this episode is the grand staircase and the not officers, the first class cabins here. So the grand staircase I previously had painted already, so that is right here, and this one is very similar to the aft grand staircase, and then there's two other walls that are on another piece. They went with the gymnasium part, so I got to grab them quick, and then we'll start putting these together. So this has a little bit more in the banisters, and there's a lot more posts that go in here, and then we have these side walls, which I have to look, but I do believe are part of, they might be part, no, they're not part of the pursers. I have to look. I'll check it out and let you know as we're going here, but let me grab the other pieces and we'll be back. Okay, so I know I showed this in the previous video, but very similar. Now, the one thing is we did back off our cutout here for where the staircase is, and not thinking, I accidentally went and glued down a top layer. But what we got to remember is there's one more layer above this, and then the dome is on top of that. So I accidentally cut the one where the banister goes. Not a big deal, but how I'm doing these again is just a styrene sheet, and then I'm putting my floor over top of it, and we basically just glue it down right to the deck then from there. So that is essentially where I want the staircase to land. And then I printed out the 3D, my 3D elevator shafts. This is not one that's finished, but I'm gonna kind of just show how it goes. It will sit back here. Yeah, like right along there. There's a third one that goes over here, but I broke this one taking it off, so I have to cut another one out. But you can kind of see the detail that's there. It has the you know, wall stuff, whatever you want to call it, the carvings and all that good stuff. We'll paint it up brown to match the staircase, and then we'll glue it down. So I'm going to go ahead and get this glued on, get the flooring glued on. I am going to trim this just a tiny bit shorter here, only because I know the brass wall is going to need a little bit of space on the end there. Oh, this doesn't have the brass wall, never mind. That's on the upper deck, so that's okay. We'll use styrene, and it might have brass coming with the rooms that go back here. So we're gonna just put this on. Just using a little bit of CA on this, and okay, well, let me find something to poke it with. Yeah, so this staircase, I will either use one of my ones that I made here, or I will use one that I printed. I'm kind of leaning towards the printed ones, so I just kind of want to try them out. This is a D-deck print, but it should work perfectly fine. I think the only real major difference is the candle being there, so I'll check that out. But more to come on that as we go here, getting the space ready and prepped. So the final staircase then that will go above here will be the Maritime Models one, and then all the brass walls and whatnot that go around it will be up top there. So here we go. That is on. Let it sit for a second, and then I'll glue the flooring on. Okay. Gonna hit it with some adhesive promoter just to move faster. Okay, so now we're just gonna also glue this on. Gotta go kind of quick because I used that adhesive promoter. Okay. So I'm gonna trim just a tiny bit on the edge there because I cut the styrene off a little bit shorter, but I did that after I had already cut the flooring out. That's okay, no biggie. Okay. All right, so now, like I said, I gotta get my my elevator shaft out, but that will go right there, and then this one of these will go down in here and up. Might have to trim just a tiny bit, but you get the idea. So it will be up against the back of that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this prepped up to put in. I'll get some furniture prepped up for the staircase room here, and yeah, we'll have the staircase done, and then we'll move on to the furniture up here. For up here, I'm going to use a similar technique to what I did in the first one for flooring, and that's just actually going to be blue painter's tape. So the first video, well, the first B-deck video, I did it blue, which was incorrect slightly, but this deck should be blue, so we're gonna make that one blue. So let me go ahead and work on a few things, and I'll be back. Okay, the best fitting one was my my one that I scratch built, so there it is. It's in. You can see the other one there through the dome, or not the dome, but the hole where the dome will go. So next up, we're going to start building out these rooms, put the carpet down in blue, like I said, and I'll probably put the furniture in through here, and some columns and all that good stuff to get that look going. So we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so as I started going through this and looking more, this is the Maritime Models kit for the A-deck forward cabins. Now, for some reason, I was thinking that it did the full amount of them, and I think the reason why I was thinking that was because the windows are that big. But when it comes down to it, in order to see that, what I wasn't thinking about was on B-deck, you're right up against that, so yes, you'd be able to see in there. On A-deck, you have your side panel of the superstructure. Now I'm using Neil's metal one, the photo etch one, but I could kind of get an idea of what's going on here with this, and there is no possible way whatsoever you will ever see from this window into that window and be able to see any kind of detail. So I do agree with why Neil did not do this. And the fact that I am going to end up gluing these down to a point where they're never going to come off again, it only really makes sense to do these outer ones that come in his kit. And it also includes the two aft grand staircase pieces that went back on the back one here, which I'm not sure if I can. Let me move this a second, but they go back here, right here, and over on the other side. So we're going to do these because obviously those cabins had some really nice windows right in here, so you'll be able to see inside there. And the back promenade is open, aside from the little stanchions that come down. But up forward, you know, I looked at it for a couple minutes and I debated on going through and scratch building it, but I don't really see a point, and you never, ever, ever, ever possibly will ever see it. So I'm just going to do this outer part right in here, and we're going to move on with the build, which is actually kind of exciting because I looked at this and I remembered the B deck cabins. I think I had a good solid probably 2 weeks into doing them. So doing these couple rooms here, we're literally talking 1, 2, 3, 4 on the front and 1, 2 on the back. It's going to save significant amounts of time. In the meantime, I got some furniture painted up for in here, and then I got columns. I got to paint them yet, but like I said, I started to put the carpet down, and then once I realized what the status would be on this, I kind of actually got excited just because honestly it took a hell of a long time to do what I did in that B deck scenario, and I'm kind of happy to not have to do it again. So yeah, I'm kind of okay with this all. So for the cabin floors here, I am, like I said, just using a painter's tape, and you basically can see what I'm doing here to put it down. I'm still going to do the elevator and the grand staircase detailing. I know I won't be able to see the elevator in A deck here, without a doubt. That's not going to be visible, but I want to do it for practice on the boat deck main grand staircase. And yeah, I just kind of want to see where it comes out. I did end up using the photo, or not the photo etch, but the 3D printed one. When I went to put the scratch built one in, it would have been fine. I had no issues with it really, but this one actually fit just a little bit better for what we're doing here, and it will match up fine to what I need. The only thing I'm going to have to do is make a small piece of extension platform from the floor over to the step, so no big deal. We'll do that quick, and we'll be moving on in life. But yeah, that's kind of what the grand staircase will look like. Not perfect, I get it, but you're still going to have another staircase on top of it with the dome over top of it, so no biggies there. Okay, so onward and upward. I'm just excited because this just gave me 2 weeks of life back, and that made me happy. I am going to do the reading writing room archway real quick. I guess I can do that right now on the video while we're rolling. I just want to move the deck real fast and get that out of the way. Okay, so these are quite easy. I'm excited. This weekend I got a new blotter that I'm going to put down and clear off the desk and kind of do a start over, because just every once in a while it needs to be done, and we're at that point. So get a new one, and it'll give me a nice fresh look and fresh feel, and I'm going to be excited about it. Not to mention, it'll be a good time to organize and kind of clean up a little bit. So that's the plans anyway. But this here, pretty basic and easy. You got your centerpiece, and you got your outer. And you got your other outer. Okay, and then we have an inner wall that goes on both sides. So we'll get them cut quick. Okay, so there's those, and we're gonna get a little piece of paper for some glue. Okay, so this here, I'm just gonna use my glue applier applicator stick here, or better known as a toothpick. Okay, and then this goes on here. So you want to make sure your archway detail is facing out, and you can see there on my hand there is a little bit of a detail line there. So you want that facing out, and then you're going to flip it over, and we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. I have that little piece at the top of the archway there that I'm going to end up trimming off before I paint the top, because I am going to paint the side edges, just because you got three pieces of brass together that otherwise you'll be able to see the brass. Okay, we're just going to drop that guy down on there like that. Now we do want them to get nice and flush. I don't want them to separate, so I'm going to hold them together for just a second here. Okay, got it. Beautiful. Alright, now these just go on the edges on the outside here. So put one down. It gets a little tougher when you're now putting brass number 4 on, and then on the other side will be brass number 5. So you want your holes to still line up, obviously. Okay. And I'll touch up, like I said, the white around the top and bottom here once we get this all sandwiched together. Okay. And you can see how thick it is now with 5 pieces of brass put together. So we'll let this dry. In the meantime, I'm going to start cutting out the walls for the cabins up towards the front there, and get them ready to install. And I'll go ahead and get the furniture painted up so that's ready to go as well. And there we go. Now we just gotta let this dry a minute, and we'll do some touch-up paint. Come on. That last one give me a little bit of trouble. I think we're good. Yay, okay. So, once that gets repainted here, that will just drop in right there. So that's where that belongs. All right, so I'm gonna pause it a few minutes, and I'm gonna go ahead and start putting these walls together. I'm gonna put these on first, then I'll start putting the walls together. So I want to paint the columns up, and then we'll be back. Okay, so we got grand staircase in. That's all glued in and ready to go. I put the columns in. Now it called for there to actually be like 2 here and I think 2 here, but there really isn't enough room with these columns, so it is what it is. And again, you can't see this one really at all anyway. The only thing you'll see is maybe an offside angle, but more than likely not. So I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to start putting the cabins in, but first I'm gonna go ahead and paint the furniture. So I'm gonna get that sprayed quick, and we're gonna use our mahogany again for the furniture. So when I painted the white, I accidentally did the wardrobes, so I gotta respray them in brown. So there they are, and we'll get them repainted. And while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and get the rooms situated, and we'll go from there. Okay, this took me a minute to figure out, because as you're looking through the pictures and the floor plan and all that kind of stuff, just figuring out how it goes is kind of got a little bit of a challenge to it. So you get these pieces of corridor here, and they go on the outside here, because what happens as this gets kind of built up, the not walls, but the yeah, these walls here are visible through the front window on the front of the A deck there. So that's where they go, and then you have the outer door here. Now I'm trying to figure that one out, because that fit perfect on that one. Now I'm wondering if it's not a wall to go right here, which it very well could be, because I still have an extra one of those same type of walls for over in B deck, but that's a higher deck, so that's not going to work. So I'm a bit confused. Okay, so it could go like that, but these are the inner rooms, because that does match up, and then it would overhang, which would kind of give you the hallway. But my only problem with that is right across the hallway is supposed to be these lavatories that would go right in here. So a bit perplexing. But these are definitely the side walls. Not side walls, but side cabins. And it would make sense if the longer one went on the outside wall. I would understand that, because the cabin would continue on. But I don't know. So I'm going to do a little bit of research and try to figure that out, and then I'll come back and we'll glue these down. So right now I'm just trying to kind of space them out and figure out the spacing. You do have to leave a gap here because there is a window that lines up right here and right over here, and we'll put the hallway tile down once I figure out what the heck is going on. So I'll be right back and we'll keep going. Okay, so now I understand what's going on here. The bathrooms go to the staterooms that go down at the aft grand staircase. So they don't go over here. That's why I was getting so confused. So don't make that mistake. They don't go up here. Okay, so now things make sense and doors line up and all that good stuff because I don't have these bathrooms to deal with that don't belong there. So I can simply glue my walls on at this point. And yeah, I was perplexed by that, but whatever, we got it figured out. So that goes there. Then these doors go on here. So they go into our smaller rooms. And then there isn't anything back here because realistically you won't really be able to see back in there. And that's why I was confused by this, because I didn't understand why the bathrooms would be there. But now it makes a heck of a lot more sense. It took me some time studying the Ship Magnificent book, and even going back up and looking at the Titanic, Honor and Glory, but yeah, we're there. So now we got our doors on, our walls match. There we go, giddy up. So now I know where all my rooms belong, and we're just gonna get them glued on. Okay, so that one sits right there. Give it a second to dry, or not dry, but adhere, whatever we want to say. And this one I'm just going to glue from the back side of the brass. And that will kind of drip down to place itself. Now we don't need to leave too big of a gap. About that should do. And then that one, yep, perfect. That one got a little bit of glue right there already, so I'm just gonna hit it along the back here. And this one already kind of is set as well, so we're just gonna hit some glue along there. Okay, now when I pull this over here, I know you won't be able to see it on the camera, but the windows actually are lined up perfect, so I'm real happy with that. Alright, so that's the rooms there. Now I'm going to go ahead and flip it, and we're going to go down to the aft grand staircase and check that out. Just put my tape under here. Or my knife under here for the staircase so I don't ruin that. Okay, so here we go. How the picture shows, not the picture, but the floor plan shows, basically that sits there and that sits there, which would be about right. And now we have our room. So I'm going to cut that out a minute. actually didn't verify if these are white yet, so I'm not going to glue these in, because I don't have floors in yet either. But I want to go up and actually verify it to the game. So that will go there, I believe. The entry door going in is here. So let me pull my floor plan here. Take a look. So, aft grand staircase. Let me get back to it. There we go. Okay, so now hopefully, I know you probably can't see what I'm looking at here, so let me try to reshift some stuff. So what we got going on is there is kind of a closet entrance type deal, which would be what I had going on here, with a door going back in. And then this door goes here. The room will turn. Well, this is actually that side. So this will go here, and then that's not going to make sense either. So I got to figure this out, because it has the windows, obviously, that you'll be able to see in there. So we don't want to block the windows off. So this side must go this way. There's not a bend there. Which, to do this, that won't make sense either. Okay, wait a minute. Do we go like, no, it can't. There has to be another door that I'm not noticing here. Sorry for trying to figure this out on camera. These are backwards, because you'll be able to view in the window, which I find kind of funny, because the bathtub actually will end up going here, so like passengers will be able to walk right by and see into a bathroom, which I don't think would ever fly in today's world, but I guess back then, I don't know, a little strange. Okay, so that now becomes this one. And that makes sense. And that becomes this one. Oops. Got a small bend in that. There we go. Okay, now The walls, obviously, will be seen from the window. So this has to be interior to it. So I think we go, well, it doesn't make sense to me here is the bathroom's fine. That would be like that. I get it. The wall, like it almost goes like that, which would make sense, except you're not going to see in through the window. So yeah, let me figure this out. I'll be back. Okay, I was correct. There is an error in this. I just confirmed that on Neil's Facebook page. So this center section, which I already broke off the other piece, has to come off. Then this is our wall here. This bends out and this bends down. I knew I wasn't crazy. It was kind of driving me crazy, but luckily somebody else has figured this out and I just need to replicate. So that goes on here like that. Our bathroom is correct where I had it originally. So what I'm going to do is glue the wall on here with the door overhanging like I thought it would go. Okay. And then the bathroom goes here where we originally thought. And I just realized I didn't put carpet in, but I can do it afterwards. I'll do the other side before I glue it in, but I'll just cut it to shape for this one. I was so perplexed by the walls that I didn't even notice. Okay, and then finally, that just drops in here. Okay, so we got a piece of glue sticking out there. I'm gonna have to cut that down with the Okay, so essentially that's what we want. So now you got a room here. I'll straighten it up a little bit, but it's basically what I'm looking for. So there we go. Now the one question I do have, there's a window over here on the bathroom wall that will not work. So I think I'm going to remove this wall also. But on the other side, I just won't put it in altogether. But yeah, there we go. So small error, not a big deal. We'll work through it and move on. Okay, so I did the first staircase, or not the staircase, I'm sorry, the first room here, and you can see that. We got our bathroom there and all that. Now, the window that I was talking about is supposed to go right about there, and I'm not cutting this away, because even if I do, it's not going to line up with that little hallway anyway. So I think I'm just going to end up painting it black and kind of making it look like the light is off in there and go from there. And I'll probably end up doing the same over here. I tried to cut it away here and ended up bending the wall a little bit, so I abandoned that. We're not going to go any farther with that, but essentially that wall will go here, and I did take off the other wall just because I wanted to experiment with it, but I'm going to end up putting that back on when I glue it down here. So I'm going to put the camera here back on the stand, and then we'll get restarted here. So actually, I think I can just do it. Okay, good. All right, so I'm going to glue these walls on quick, and now that I've figured out how they have to get separated, not really too big of a deal. So that one goes on there. Now, I did get the bathtubs and furniture to go with this from Maritime Models, so we'll install that as well. After I drop that. Okay, so we'll put that back on. I'll be honest, I'm actually really excited to get this part of the build complete, because then we do still have a little bit more interior work to do up on the boat deck, but essentially the interior work that I'm planning on doing will be done, and it's really going to be time to get on to the modeling, and I got all kinds of cool stuff I'm looking forward to using from China 3D and Cameron's Model Works, and there's a lot of cool stuff that I think will be awesome up on the top as we go. And I haven't forgotten yet obviously the video for the motors and all the lighting that will have to happen, so that'll be a big one. But at this point, I just wanted to keep pushing forward with the actual build, and get the interior all done and squared away before I started messing around with too much of the electronics. So, whoops, the next video, I think I kind of gave out that whole plan at the end of the last video, but the next video will be all about doing the deck houses on the outside here, and putting the deck chairs on, and all the railings that go on it, and the windows. So there's a lot that goes into that detail-wise, that should be pretty fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. And then we'll also probably include the lighting in that video for all of these parts that we've been putting on here these last 4 or 5 videos, which will be pretty interesting, I think, too, because I'm doing the lighting differently than I did it in the on the B deck, because the B deck essentially, this is the roof. For this deck, the buildings, not buildings, but the rooms have their own roof, and then there's a roof that goes over top of the roof, basically, being the actual deck for the boat deck. So that's going to be, I think, some cool ways of doing the lighting, where I can drop them in and basically be able to wire from above. So it'll be fun. And we still have to drill holes. Come on. I'm not doing a good job concentrating because I'm talking a lot while I'm trying to do that. We're going to just spray it this time. But we got to drill the holes for the casings here, and that's also going to give us our ventilation system, not ventilation, but our system to smoke the smokestacks from down below. And obviously I didn't install the smoking units yet or anything like that. I have all of this stuff, it's all ready. Just been kind of sitting there waiting for the right time. So I will feel like once we get this A deck done, that we are going to be starting to move pretty full steam ahead at that point. So there they are, they're in. I'm going to put the furniture in, and probably some people in and all that kind of stuff, and then basically finish out this video because we're about there. So I'm going to put that in, like I said, put the furniture in. Oh, one little piece, I kind of talked about it in the last video, or in the last segment here when I was talking, but this piece right here, back to the reading writing room, is part of the fireplace. So I need to bend that down, and that will then get installed over top the fireplace. Oops, my finger was blocking it. Over top the fireplace, and that will go there. And then these two pieces here are actually this wall right here, and I need to cut out the window that should be there. So I'm going to get that done too. A lot of little finishing up stuff here before we go into actually doing the deck houses as we go. So those are, oops, I knocked that guy over. He was leaning there and I wanted to fix him, and he fell. We'll put him back up. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pause it here. I will start the rooms, and yeah, we'll pretty much be about done with the video after the furniture is installed. So be right back. I guess this glue's empty. Okay, so for the bathrooms, we're going to put them in quick and do the little bit of furniture that goes in them, which is basically a bathtub and the wash stand. So this is again Neil's bathtubs that come with the kit. Pretty basic what we're doing here. It's just 3D printed, so all we need is some CA, and we put it right kind of in front of the window. That's where it's showing. Curved side goes towards the steps, so that way. So just dipping it in some glue quick, and it goes right there. hopefully. There we go. Now, I gotta shave that down just a tiny bit because the wall is bumping it, and I'm not going to undo the wall at this point. So when I do the upper decks and we get to the captain's cabin and some of the other ones that end up with bathtub in there, I just got to be cautious of that so I don't have fitment issues. But this is really kind of my own fault for not pre-checking, so it is what it is, but I don't have to lose very much off of it. Okay, we put a little more glue down here on my paper. And we'll try that again. There we go, that's better. And let me check this one beforehand. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do the same thing on that. And you really won't see too much of this, although, I mean, it is a bigger window, so you will be able to see it. But I don't think you'll really be able to tell that I shaved a little bit off the ends there. And a little disclaimer, I should just throw in that you never want to breathe in resin when you're filing it, so just be careful of that. Okay, now it comes with the photo etch wash stand, which is here. And I'm going to keep that in white. It probably would be brown, but I'm okay with it. So it's a basic folding, just like all the other PE has been. And here we go. So that's going to fold like that and that. Then this will fold down on top. Like that. And then we have kind of a backsplash there and a mirror. So for the mirror, I will do my normal foil tape, which is the same stuff that we used in all of the armoires on B deck, and we'll also use them for the A deck armoires. This has worked out fairly well. That just sticks on, and there we go. Mirror. So I'm going to glue that onto the wall. Doesn't come with a toilet, for all of you that were hoping to see a toilet, but nope, no toilet. Okay, now this goes on the stair side. So that way. go. And I'll do the other one quick. And then I'll probably show a little bit of the furniture here and there as I'm going, but not too much. So again, we're just fold. Where's my tweezer? Fold, fold. There we go. Honestly, I was trying to show it with the tweezers because I know most people will do the tweezer, but I've actually had more luck just doing it with my fingers with these in a lot of cases, so just my personal preference. Okay. And there we go, same thing, we got a mirror. Okay, so next up is all the furniture for this room, and then the forward rooms, and then we're done. Okay, so there's one room, and there's the other. And then if you come back here, we got these 3 done, and I got 1 more to go. So I'm going to do a quick little demonstration on that, and then we're going to wrap up the video. So basically, just following the plan from Honor and Glory, I'm sorry, the Ship Magnificent book, and I was able to fit most of the furniture in, not 100%, but darn close, and yeah, it turned out pretty good all in all, so I'm happy with it, and I threw some people in there. I won't fill all of the rooms with people, because obviously people are going to be out on the ship and whatnot, and I won't turn lights on in all of the rooms, but these front ones I will, because they will be somewhere where, you know, somebody will probably look through, I'm thinking, so I figure I'll at least set people and set lights in them, and you know, make it look like it's inhabited. So these rooms were first class. They're not as elaborate as the B-deck staterooms, but they still would have been a very nice room in their time. But you can kind of see how small they would have been too. I mean, in reality, they don't appear much bigger than like a really small guest room in a house. I mean, it would have been fairly tight even in first class. And then they don't all have restrooms. You know, the one back there and in by the aft grand staircase has a restroom, but then this one, or these 4 up here, do not. They would have had a restroom over here across the hall. Actually, no, these 2 had one right here, but then there's a public one right there. Sorry. So I'm just folding the furniture here, and again, all of the furniture that Neil makes should be easily able to be done with simple hand tools, no special presses and all that. I have one, I just don't use it. I've used it on other PE, obviously, but this set is really nicely done. Okay, so I'm trying to pull off the backing for this tape. There we go. Okay. Oops. So I probably won't finish putting this whole room together on the video, but I just kind of wanted to show the technique I use again one last time before we venture on to some outside, well, not really outside, but this stuff, some promenade. So that's one thing also to kind of think about is weathering, because the back half of this deck would have been opened. The front half was more enclosed, so I'll keep the front half looking very pristine and new looking, and I will do some mild weathering on the back half. I'll also do a little bit of weathering up here once we get the bridge assembled and everything on the outside. So if you have been watching since the beginning, I did go and opt for a little bit more of a weathered hull, and that is because I think reality would show more weathering than what we typically think of when we think Titanic, because it was 1912. There was a whole lot of coal, but everything inside would be brand new, so obviously no weathering on the inner areas. I'm going heavy on the glue on that because this little coffee table only has four little legs to support it, so I want it to stay. Okay, I guess at this point I might as well just finish out the room. I don't have that many more pieces to go for it. So we got another bed here. I do have to paint more mattresses for the beds, so I won't get the mattress in on this video, but that's okay. You saw it on the first one. It's just a little really piece of cardboard. And I want to keep it back here because there is a door right there. Okay, and got the wash basin done. Oh, I need the little heater. So each individual room would have had its own little heater, and they're fairly small. But during the sinking, a lot of passengers didn't want to leave the heat of their room, obviously on a cold April night, so it took a lot to get them to come out onto the deck. Okay, so this is basically the last piece, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. And like I said, in the next video, it's going to be all about doing our buildings that go over this, and our deck chairs and our windows and all kinds of fun stuff that we haven't been able to do in quite a while, because we've been working on interior for quite some time. So it's going to be exciting to get a kind of a change of scenery. All right, so I'll put a person or two in there real quick. I'm using a gelled CA, and it's just because it's a little bit easier to work with when you're dealing with these guys and the furniture. It's a little bit more forgiving. And he's going to stand there. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time here at LC Model Shipbuilding. And thank you. Make sure you give a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.